Nancy. Yes.
It's a two-parter.
It's twofer.
If you had to make a character to be in the story, what would it be? And what would its name be? And then just one more after.
Oh, a character.
Checkers.
I think I would do like some sort of like Greek god, a Greek goddess.
Felipe.
Maybe I would, no, I would do like a version of, is that the name of the Greek god?
I don't know.
Felipe is a hot name, actually.
Felipe?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I would do some sort of Greek god and, what was your other question?
What would its name be? Well, and the other part is, how would your story go?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to get into the story because we could do that on a day when we're actually doing stories. But I think the Greek god, it would be a Greek goddess, and her name would be Margarita.
Studio audience, will you turn to a person near you and tell them if you were to ask a question? You don't have to ask a question, but if you were to ask a question, what would it be about how we learn a language and why we do what we do?
Acquiring languages.
I'm actually really good in the future. You think that all of us Tyler, use that Justin Bieber. Go to the left. Go to the left. No, go to the left. No, this is just to get your hair out. No. What do you mean?
I'm gonna scare Finley. Guys, I'm gonna scare Finley.
Yeah, exactly, right? You're just learning language. You understand the structure of the language internally, but you can't so like, usually, for example, we say, subject, right?
Studio audience, how lost in 20 seconds. To a round of applause. Emmy, 4 rounds of applause. Siéntate. 20, 19, 18.
I could be entering the 90s.
18, 17, 16, get ready for the clap. 15, 14, 13, 12, oh, I love my hands. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, ready to clap. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Sorry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, welcome back from that break. Profe, I think maybe we should review these points, los hechos, the facts that we've learned today about language acquisition. Remembering that it's different from language learning. So not like learning about the language and how it's put together, because we want to be able to talk, right? We want to be able to speak and write, and we got to start with listening and reading so that we get some stuff that we can speak and write about, right? I mean, basically this is how it works. So please, Profe, would you review those points, and then maybe we can take 2 more questions that would be pertaining to how we learn a language, and then we're going to make some souvenirs of our time together.
Okay, so if somebody asks you, why does your Spanish class work the way it works? These are the reasons, okay? These are the reasons. Is you learn a second language very similar to how you learned your first language. Most of you, it's English, okay? And when you were a baby learning English, you didn't take tests, you didn't do worksheets, and you learned it. So that is also how you will learn Spanish. And the reason why is because it's part of human nature, right? You just take a baby, you stick him in a situation where he's surrounded by a language, and whatever language that is, if people are talking and interacting with this baby, she's going to learn it, okay? Because it's already encoded in your DNA for you to learn language, okay? Humans were born to learn language. So that's why it doesn't help to learn all the grammar rules. Like, it's interesting.
To some of us.
To some, actually.
To
not,
me.
not to,
Oh, I don't
like
enjoy
language
it.
freaks like us, but not everybody's super nerdy about language. So that wouldn't be that interesting to them. Okay, but it doesn't, just like learning what bones are in your leg doesn't help you to walk any better, right? You guys can use that. If somebody questions the techniques of this class, you can say, well, why don't you study the subjunctive tense? You say, well, why, in order to learn how to use the subjunctive, you say, well, why did I not have to study what muscles are in my leg to learn how to walk? Right? So, no fire hoses means we don't want to just flood you, just bombard you with all this language that's like way advanced. Okay, we want to bring it down to your level, maybe a little bit above your level, just a tiny bit, but not a ton, right? Because then you're just going to be anxious and intimidated, and then you're going to shut down. Okay, so that's one of our goals, is to have you not shut down, to make you guys feel comfortable. Okay? Yeah. Oh, at the end. Right? Because do you guys ever notice that if a baby will, like, let's say they do something funny or they say something funny when they're at home with their family, but then you like try to show a stranger and then they get all shy and they don't want to do that? Well, it's the same thing that works for everybody, right? Same with you guys. If you're like intimidated and you're like feel judged, then you're probably not going to start speaking Spanish. And you're like, oh, I don't want to look like a fool. And then you're never going to say anything. Okay, so that's why we want to have an environment that's easy. But this technique, this doesn't work if you tune it out, you zone out. It's just like some people have thought, oh, why don't I just play tapes of people speaking Spanish while I sleep, and then maybe I'll wake up and I'll just eventually know it. No, because you don't have your brain turned on. So if your brain's not turned on, this acquisition thing that goes on in there, it's not going to happen. You have to be really paying attention.
But not too much that your brain hurts.
Well, like you don't want to stress out about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to stress out about it. Good.
It actually works better if you're not stressing out.
Yeah.
Scientifically proven.
It is, actually.
It is. And so what happens first, we're not going to force you guys to write an essay before we first have you be able to read, right? Because what happens first is you've got to build up all this material in your head, right? The listening and the reading. You got to take it all in, and then when you're ready, you'll let it come out. Okay, but we're not going to force you to say a speech in Spanish or force you to write an essay in Spanish before you've taken it in enough that you feel comfortable.
And then just like a baby, you're going to make mistakes. Just like when you first started to walk, you didn't have to study your legs and stuff, but you didn't always walk perfectly. Sometimes you fell down.
Right.
That's part of the learning process.
Just like,
So sometimes what you say and what you write isn't perfect, but if you listen more and you read more, it gets more perfect as time goes on.
right? Just like a
Just
little
like a
kid will say, you'll hear them say stuff like, oh, I go to the store. They're going to say that, and then eventually they'll keep hearing adults saying, I went to the store, and then eventually they'll understand that it's went to the store, not go, right?
When they make those little mistakes.
Yeah. Okay. And
Well, so talking of spreading the news that is a special kind of class, I would like to introduce you to my little brochure that I made called Working Hard or Hardly Working. The reason I called it Working Hard or Hardly Working is because A, it's my dad's favorite dad joke.
I like it.
If I call him after work and he's like, he's from Georgia, he's like, Tina, how was work today? Were you working hard or hardly working? Raise your hand if your dad has this joke that he says all the time and it's like his dad joke. Yeah, this is my dad's dad joke. So the reason I called it was because I love my dad, and also because like we were saying, you don't necessarily have to work really hard to acquire a language. It should be hardly working, just hanging out and enjoying the messages that you're hearing. So on the inside, you'll see that I have fact 1, fact 2, fact 3, and fact 4. And like I said, you only have to write 4 sentences in English. So what you're going to do is pick your 4 favorite facts from up here. Any of these 7 facts, you're just going to pick 4 of them that you want to spread the news about. And then you're going to write the fact up here, just in bigger handwriting. And then down here, just in a little bit smaller handwriting, maybe, or I don't know, you can do it however you like, I don't really care. Mine is a little bit smaller. It says sort of in my own words what this means. So this is from another class, so it's a little bit different. But we did do this one. Don't drink from the fire hose, right? And then at the bottom I said we need to hear the language in small doses. So not too much language, not like listening to a movie that was made for native speakers, but little doses that like a baby would get. Like, do you want the water or do you want the milk? Water or milk, right? Because we're beginners. Most of us in this class are beginners. So, you're going to make your own brochure, and then you can do what you like with it. You can take it home, show it to your folks, you can show it to your little brothers and sisters, you can keep it for your teachers in the future. Who knows where this brochure will go? I feel very passionate about this kind of teaching. I think it's very relaxing for the student, relaxing for the teacher. And why work hard and not relax
When you can hardly work.
when it's not even helping you? I worked so hard in high school, and I hardly could talk French. You worked so hard in high school, and then you went to Spain and you were lonely. So I just think, I'm so passionate about just spreading the word. So we're just going to put these little brochures out there into the world, and we're going to see if we can, teach some people and educate them about how we really learn to speak and use the language. So, Alex, thank you very much for filming. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's have a round of applause for our guest speaker.